Okay, this is a tutorial for setting up Meetup on your mobile phone. This is for the iPhone. And I'm going to walk you through downloading the Meetup app and walk you through getting signed up with Meetup and how to indicate your attendance there. So first step is going to be downloading the Meetup app. So we're going to do that by going into our App Store, my blue square here. And if it doesn't default to search, you're going to want to click on the search magnifying glass in the bottom right corner of the screen. Once you do that, you're going to type in your search window. We're going to type up there Meetup, all one word, and then click the blue search button in the bottom corner. All right, now you may have a different app that's going to pop up closer to the top, but the one we're looking for is this Meetup with the red splashy M. And so if you have never downloaded this before, what you're going to see is a Get button similar to the one that's up here at the top of the screen. That's probably what you're going to see. Since I have at some point downloaded Meetup in the past, I've got the cloud with the down arrow. But I'm going to press the cloud. It should do the same thing for you, pressing the Get button. So when I click it, you'll see a little spinning circle. It's going, as it starts to load, it turns that to that blue square in the center, and then you'll see the progress around the circle on the outside. Depending on how you have your security set up, it might ask you for your Apple ID in order to install an app on your phone. That may or may not happen. As I said, it just depends on how your phone was set up. Okay, that's going to load here, and once it finishes loading, in a minute it'll pop up a box that says Open. So it will change to an Open button, just like that. So now we're going to click on the Open button, and that's going to launch the Meetup app for us. Okay. So it wants us to sign up or log in. If you've never signed up before, you're going to want to do the sign up button if you have, and you would do the login. But we're going to sign up from scratch. Wants to know if it can use my location. I generally don't allow that. When you turn on the GPS, it can drain your battery, so I'm going to suggest we select Don't Allow. And now it's going to take us to a search. It wants to know what general area are we in, so it can find groups that are near us. So we are going to tell it that we are in Elmhurst, Illinois. All right, and it's going to bring up these categories. It's a variety of them. You have to select at least one category in order to keep going. So we are going to choose music. You see, once I check that box, the next button in the top right corner of the screen becomes active, and I can press that next word. So I'm going to press that. And it wants to know what I'm interested in, what kind of music. So we're going to tell it that we like women's a cappella. All right, once we do that, it offers us women a cappella singing. So I'm just going to click on it, and that's going to put a little red heart next to it. We don't have to get fancy. You could put in a whole bunch of different search terms there if you want to look at other things, but we're done with our search, so I'm going to press Cancel. When I press Cancel, it takes me back, and you'll see that I still have the red heart on women's a cappella singing. So we're going to keep going. So again, I'm going to press the Next in the top right corner. It's going to offer groups that I might want to join. This definitely is optional, so you do not have to make a selection here. We're just going to keep going, so I'm going to press Continue. All right, and now it wants us to sign up. So you're going to sign up. Either you can connect it with your Facebook or with Google. I generally, if I have to sign up with something like this, I'm just going to enter an email address so that it isn't connected to my other accounts, but that may be something you do want to do. Okay, so there are some mandatory fields here. So you have to put in a name. You have to put in an email address. So let me do that. Okay, and then it's going to want a password. So we'll just make one up here. Okay, so it wants those 3 pieces for sure, and it is also going to want a photo, right? You can put in your age and your gender if you wish, but you definitely do not need to do that. I'm going to skip that step. If you try to create your account without your photo and you hit next, it's going to stop you and it's going to tell you you have to do a profile photo. So I'm going to say okay to that. So I need to press that red change in the middle of the screen underneath the little circle face. And when you do that, it gives you an option to either take a photo. If you click that button, it'll ask for access to your camera, like so. If you want to do that, you're going to say okay. But I have a picture on my, I'm going to just cancel this because I'm not going to give it access to my camera right now. I would prefer to just use a photo that I have in my my photo roll. So I'm going to choose Select Photos. Okay, it does still want access to the photos. I forgot about that part. So there we go. You can see my kitty. And there's my boy from many years ago. Anyway, so I've selected my profile picture. I'm going to say done. And there we go. Now we can click next. And we can keep moving forward. Okay, so it's going to want to know whether I want to get notifications. I generally prefer not to get pop-up messages on my phone all the time. So I'm going to say don't allow. You can allow it and change it later. You can choose don't allow it and change it later. It's something you can adjust. Okay, so now we're in the, this is like the main homepage for Meetup. And in order for us to find Coral Airs, we're going to click on that Explore Meetups with the red letters towards the top of the screen. So I'm going to click on that. And now it gives us a search option. So it's looking for meetup groups in Elmhurst. And here's where we can type in Coral Airs. All right, and if you give it and if you hit search, it will find Coral Airs, and it brings up, these are the different events that are scheduled for the Coral Airs meetup group. All right, so this is now where we can start marking attendance, and unfortunately you have to mark attendance week by week. There's not an option to do a mass, hey, I'm going to attend every meetup group every week for the rest of the year. You have to do it one by one, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of going through it, and it can move pretty quickly. You just do a whole bunch in advance, and then you can sort of forget about it for a while. Okay, but let's click on this top one, this July 30th weekly rehearsal. So I'm going to click on it, and it takes me to the page here, and I'm going to tell it, hey, I want to join this meetup group, and I want to RSVP. So I'm going to let somebody know that I'm coming. All right, so when I click on join and RSVP, all right, it's going to say, hey, I can either send it to a friend, I can add it to my calendar. I'm just going to press the white X that's in the top left corner of my screen and to close out of that, because I know I'm supposed to show up every Monday anyway, and I don't need a reminder on my calendar for that. So I've got a big green circle with a check mark in it, and that is an indication that I am going. Now, if I wanted to bring a guest with me, I can indicate that by clicking on the red change. So I could click on that, and it brings up an option. I can click the plus and minus to change my guest options, and then I would hit update. Okay, so I don't have a guest plan, so I'm going to close out of that. Okay, So I have marked my attendance for that week. So I'm going to press the red, this is called a little caret, the red caret up in the top left screen, like a little backwards arrow. So I'm going to press that, and it takes me back to this view where I can see week over week these Choral Airs meetups. So again, I do the same thing. I can just open it up, do my check mark. Now it's not asking me about putting something on my calendar, and it's going straight to whether I want to bring a guest or not. So just mark that accordingly. Okay, hit next and close it out. And then I, again, click the backwards little arrow in the top left to get back to that main screen. And this is sort of the rinse and repeat. How many guests? I click next. I close by doing the white X. And then I hit the back arrow button in the top left corner. Okay? And so you can just do that in a few minutes. You can get a long way through there. Look, here's also, you'll see our golf outing is listed. I am going to go to that. And here's a great place where I could forward it to a friend. So I've got my attendance marked there, and that's how you go about adding those RSVP items. So now I can click that, I'm sorry, it clicked me back. I clicked one too far. So I am set up now with those Choral Airs meetups. If you want to go back to your main page in any time, if you get somewhere you're not sure kind of where you've gotten in this app, on the bottom of the screen is sort of a menu bar. You can you see there's a little gray house and it says home. So that's going to be your home page. You can go back there, and this would be a great way to check to make sure that you really did get signed up for Choral Airs. It's now showing up as a group that belongs to me, and it tells me when my next meetup is going to be. All right, and it'll start offering me other things that I might be interested in going to. Now, one thing I want to point out is there is, like right in the center of the screen, you will see that there's an add comment. So you can put a comment in here about Choral Airs, how much fun it is. It's an exciting group of women, love coming each week, friendly faces, whatever you feel moved to put in here that you think might invite people to come. You are definitely welcome to do that. All right, lots of friendly faces. So I'm just going to make a post there. I've got a little comment now. You see it showing up under my name. That's another way to drive interest as folks see that people are actually putting things in here, and I like seeing what people have to say. Okay, again, I hit the home button and it takes me back here. And so that is how you get signed up for Meetup.